Permettez-moi de passer maintenant à l'anglais. If confirmed as a commissioner, I will pursue two main goals. Firstly, to boost employment, to promote a well-skilled workforce, responsive to the digital and climate transition ahead of us. Secondly, together with jobs, I will put at the center of my priorities social rights for all and social inclusion. I will pursue high standards on the European labour market, as we need to achieve upward convergence in our living and working conditions. I will promote a European labour market that guarantees access and good opportunities for everybody, and in particularly for persons with disabilities, migrants, Roma communities, and the most deprived. I will do my utmost to fight poverty, to break the poverty cycle affecting children, and to improve the support to youth. I will work to promote a fairer Europe. In a sustainable economy, social rights have a central place. Together with Executive Vice President designate Valdis Dombrovskis, I will ensure the mainstreaming and strengthening the social dimension based on the European Pillar of Social Rights. I will closely and regularly, with the European Parliament, the Member States, social partners, and all stakeholders to pursue a fairer, more social and inclusive Europe. The European Pillar of Social Rights is a joint political commitment of the three institutions. In close cooperation with Parliament, I will develop an action plan to implement the pillar, both at the Union level and in each Member State, building on the achievements made under the Commission of President Juncker and on the political guidelines of President-elect von der Leyen. 241 million people are currently in employment in the EU, a record high. The unemployment rate in the EU continues to decline, although not in all member states and not in all regions. Not everybody benefits from this positive development. We must ensure that work pays and that it provides a decent living. I will put forward a legal instrument to ensure that every worker in our union has a fair minimum wage. It is not about setting one single EU wage level, and I will pay particular attention to social models of different member states. Jointly, we need to act on equality of opportunity. We need to ensure that men and women feel confident about their future, the future of their families, and the future of their children. To address these challenges, I will reinforce the Youth Guarantee and will lead the work to develop a European Child Guarantee. Gender balance and gender equality are central to my vision on jobs and social rights. I will closely with the new Commission for Equality to close the gender pay and pension gap, propose binding pay transparency measures, and fully implement the Work-Life Balance Directive for the benefit of both women and men. Many of our citizens are preoccupied by the deepening inequalities, adequate social protection and pension systems, an inclusive labor market with fair wages, and supporting active aging, career transitions, and investing in social services will be important to fight poverty and to ensure social inclusion. Here, the social economy can play an important role, particularly in local communities, by generating social return. One of the areas I personally care much about is health and safety at work. It is not acceptable that in 2019, people in Europe are still at risk at their workplace. I will promote the adoption of further measures against carcinogens in the workplace. The changing world of work requires new reflections on occupational health and safety. Commissioner for Jobs also means Commissioner for Free Movement of Workers. This is not only a fundamental part of the internal market, but it is also considered by EU citizens as one of the EU's most important achievements. However, recent years have shown us that labor mobility also bears a number of challenges, be it social dumping or brain drain. But we should indeed resist and attempt to limit the opportunity for EU citizens to move freely within the EU. We should rather tackle the underlying issues. Here, the newly created European Labour Authority can play an important role, ensuring cooperation between national authorities, namely carrying out joint inspections. From the discussion in this committee last week, I know that the practical setup of the European Labour Authority is an important issue for many of you. I assure you that it will be rapidly put into place and provided with the adequate means to fulfill its tasks. The Union is challenged in a globalized world by big transformations: economic, technological, environmental, and demographic. People need to be accompanied in the upcoming transitions, enabling them to keep their skills updated as the economy evolves. This requires investment as well as a coherent skills policy with improved tools to accompany all career transitions at all ages. I will explore the idea of individual learning accounts for people of working age. Our labour markets will be changing due to automation, digitalization, and artificial intelligence. We have to engage decisively to mitigate the risks, shape the transitions, and seize the opportunities. It is crucial to ensure trust in the digital future. Therefore, we need to address the labour conditions of platform workers and actively address new forms of precariousness. We all remember the financial crisis and the effects it had on citizens and businesses. We need to be ready to meet future downturns and ensure that the Union is prepared to react in a socially responsible manner to future shocks. The resilience of the economic and monetary union depends on stabilization functions. A future European unemployment benefit reinsurance scheme requires a careful design to ensure rapid responses to shocks while preserving adequate unemployment protection. Social and environmental sustainability are two faces of the same coin. Decent work, quality education, reduced poverty and inequality need to be at the center of a European semester that is refocused on the Sustainable Development Goals. Our international actions need to support a decent work agenda for all. I will work with my colleagues to ensure that international labour standards are put at the core of our trade agreements and in our multilateral work. Investment in people needs to be recognized as an investment in a better future. The European Social Fund Plus is the Union's prime instrument. It is a tool to support the implementation of the principles of the pillar by providing resources. The transition towards a carbon-neutral economy will not be social by default. We have to ensure nobody, no region, no country is left behind. To achieve this objective, the ESF+, the European Globalization Adjustment Fund, InvestEU, and the new Just Transition Fund need to be robust enough. A strong social Europe needs social legislation, which is up to date, properly implemented and enforced. It requires social to remain at the core of economic policy coordination under the European semester, a more efficient and simpler use of the European funds, and a permanent and constructive dialogue with social partners and the civil society. Social dialogue should be promoted at all levels, as the Union's social dialogue can only work when built on strong, autonomous national social partners. Likewise, collective bargaining should also be supported, as it constitutes an important feature of our social market economy. As Commissioner, I will fully engage in a dialogue both with the European Parliament and the Council, but also with national parliaments and national social partners. This way we can develop balanced, effective, and proportionate initiatives, which are in full respect of subsidiarity. More than ever, facts need to drive our discussion. My work will be based on thorough analysis and impact assessment of our initiatives, drawing on inspiration also beyond the European Union, from our partners in the G7 and the G20, and working with international organizations like the ILO and the OECD. Liebe Frau Präsidentin, sehr geehrte Kollegen, die designierte Präsidentin hat uns eine klare Botschaft mit auf den Weg gegeben. Eine Union, die mehr erreichen will. Ich bin heute Morgen mit einem ehrgeizigen Programm zu Ihnen gekommen. Diese Liste ist aber nicht vollständig. Wir müssen uns in einer sich schnell und ständig verändernden Welt orientieren. Ich werde Ihre Sichtweisen, Ideen, Fragen und Einwände hören und versichere Ihnen, dass ich in den nächsten 5 Jahren sehr eng mit diesem Haus kooperieren werde. Wir müssen zusammenarbeiten, um das Vertrauen der Bürger, Arbeitnehmer, Familien und Unternehmen in die Europäische Union wieder zu stärken. Europa ist der beste Ort der Welt, um zu leben und zu arbeiten. Mein Ziel ist es, dazu beizutragen, dass das auch so bleibt. Zusammen haben wir die Kraft, unsere Zukunft zu gestalten. Danke für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.